So what we've done to enable you to work with this, to work together with these e-commerce environments, we've extended the, let me sort this list a bit over here. What we've done is we've extended your NAV with the option to enrich your items so that you can use it. You just simply have all your PIM, product information management tools, directly in NAV, so that you can decorate, use texts, images, item attributes, all these things without having or just by entering them once into your NAV system. If you want to reuse them throughout any other place within your organization, because they're all sitting in your NAV system, you should be able to easily reuse that data. Everything you see is made up out of NAV tables, NAV pages, and all the data is stored in one single big NAV database. So what you the normal item screens. So if we go back to standard NAV, this is what you have over here. Pretty boring screen with lots of fields and lots of numbers and many codes and everything you need to properly process your financial and logistics information, but nothing you can use on the web. And what this add-on does, it sits nicely next to your standard NAV tables. It doesn't mess up with your NAV system. It just links with a loosely coupled link, as we call that. So as long as the add-on is there, it will know about your items, and it will give you the ability to work as a web admin on your items, so that you can enter all the item data you want to put in. But still, if you want to take it out again, there's no problem. Just take it out, and yeah, without any hassle, it will work just like that. So what you get when you start working with this add-on is you can see it already. You can see that the images, if we browse through the images, there's all kinds of demo stuff in my database, of course, but what you do is, if you want to throw in a new image, you just take one and just throw it onto the drag and drop area, and you've got some new information in the system, some new image. What you have all your text available. You have your rich description. This one actually does not, but you can write your very lengthy text over here and use all kinds of markup you want to put in there. So that was that. And to start with, which is like one of the most important features, and I'm sure if you use Magento, you're already familiar with the terms attributes and attribute sets. So you this one's here is set to the floor item, and the floor contains this kind of attributes. These are actually in Dutch, but this is what's applicable to these floorboards. And if you would have like a completely different item, let's pick one over here. Not really sure what it is. Someone named it a t-shirt. It is a banner, but anyway, it has completely different item attributes coming from a completely different set. So this being a standard product, when configuring your item attributes, you can find them over here. You can set up any kind of attribute you can think of, and then you can put them into sets, just as you've done before with your Magento system. You can do the same thing in NAV right now, and just set them up like that. And then you go to your items and tell the system which item is made out of which set, and that will help you to, with a standard product, still define every kind of or every type of item that you want to put online. So the question in between, do you want to run multiple stores or in multiple languages, or is just for just one store?
For the time being, assuming we went with this now, it'd be one store.
All right. So then we don't have to spend too much time on showing you that you can manage multiple stores from out of this NAV system, but still just opening one item. It's good to know that this system or this item is now not configured as to be shown in multiple stores, or it doesn't have any specific data. But if I want to show this in either my Italian store, or if I want to set up a B2C store or next to my B2B, or the other way around, I could simply say, okay, select this store and enter another screen where I can edit data specifically for this B2B store. So it has support for multiple stores.
Okay.
So after you've decorated your items, you've put in all your text, your images, you've set every item to be of the right attribute set, you've filled in all the attributes. What you can do right here is define your categories. So the same as you would do directly in Magento, you can do that from out of NAV right now. You can make multiple category trees. So if you want to either have another definition or another tree for another storefront, or if you just want to set up a completely new tree which you want to activate at a certain stage in time, you can do that over here as well. And all these things can be managed just by using a drag and drop mechanism, and you can just create new categories underneath another one and just pick it up, drag it around, say I want this over here. That's easy like that. You can manage your categories. So that's the next step. What we've done now, we've decorated our items, we've put them into a certain category or into multiple categories, and all this of course is always in sync with your Magento storefront. So every change we're making will be nearly real time reflected on the web. And then it's time to start handing out logins to our customers. So here's our customers, and within your system, obviously for all your B2B customers, you have them in your system already. I don't know, do you want to work with B2C customers as well, or is it just B2B?
No, it's B2B and B2C.
Okay, so your B2B customers obviously are in your system already, and if you want to allow your B2C customers to subscribe through the web store, then those will be coming in one by one as soon as they start placing orders. What you can do from here is that what you don't have in your standard NAV as well is what you need is the ability to hand out logins, to activate customers, and to send them a welcome message. You find these messages directly within NAV. I will show you a little later what that looks like. As soon as you open this card for one which is not active, like this one, a new initial password is generated. This one still has to be activated. If you are going to activate the customer, or to use the button, it will ask you, okay, do you want to send this person a welcome message? And then from there on, a message will be flying out with, obviously with whatever you want to put in that message, but it will probably be something like, here's your invitation to use our web shop. Here's your initial password. Please log in and first start by changing your password. So,
Tis, just for security, if a customer forgets their password, is that an automatic reset? We don't have to be involved?
sure, but that's standard Magento functionality which they can use. So
Right.
if they bump into the login screen and can't remember the password, at first you want them to just use the standard form, reset my password. But as we all know, you probably have customers as well who simply pick up the phone and start calling you saying, where's my password? Then you can still use the same button we had up here and just say, okay, resend this guy's welcome message. And then they will receive a new message saying, okay, here's again your initial password, which will be reset at that time as well. So obviously, or most probably, they change that somewhere in between, but if you resend the message, then their password will be this one again.
Okay.
So that's what we did. We set up our products. We decorated them with images, with text, with all kinds of attributes on them, and we've sent some logins to our customers. So that makes that they can log in onto our Magento website. They can browse through our products. They can, if they log in and you have your B2B pricing module enabled, then they can see their own customer-specific prices and discounts, and they can start ordering items. And what that then in turn does is that here's your sales list. It's an overview of incoming orders. At least that is when you set the system to not fully automatically process these orders. So you can choose, of course, you can tell the system just process everything directly, which then will make that every incoming order is set or is created as a sales order directly in NAV. But if you want to have a grip, for whatever reason, on everything that's coming in, you can set these the order processing to manually, and here you will see the incoming orders, and you can just you can even change them if you see that a mistake was made or whatever, for whatever reason, and you can see what kind of shipping method was chosen, and then you can still say, okay, process this order, which then in turn will become a standard NAV sales order. What you can also see is that the payment that came in, so this was a check money order, but if you probably for your B2C customers, you want to implement a payment provider, which makes that the B2C customers get a screen where they have to pay before the order will be processed. So if anything like that happens here over here, you will get the all the details from the payment that they've just made. So that's your incoming orders. Still, you can see your incoming payments in a separate list as well. Of course, connected to the orders you had coming in. And because of this being a web order, the system knows that it originally came from the web. Then the whole add-on will is going to keep track of the order and its status. and it will communicate that status back to the My Account section within the Magento storefront, and it's keeping track of these statuses. So if you're going to create a shipment for this order, and if you're going to invoice this order, this thing is going to send out notifications when you've told the system to do so. So looking at a bit of a setup card here, it's the notification setup. You can use two things. You can use email and you can use text messages. With emails, you can attach reports, which will be rendered as PDF documents, and then the system will take the message template. It will add the PDF document. It will fill in the fields where needed on this template, and then it will send the message back to the user who created the order. Same thing goes for text messages, but text messages obviously don't have any PDF documents attached. So let's leave this thing. It's set to send one as an SMS. There it's set to send a couple of others via email. And over here you can see the management of the template. Bless you. So let me look at this one. Well, it's a very short template, and this one is as well. All right. This one demonstrates a bit better how this thing works. You can use replacement fields in both subject and body. And you can use any field that's applicable to the context we're working on. So if it's an order, you have all the order fields available. If it's a shipment, you have shipment fields and the related order fields, and same is for the invoice. And you always have the customer fields available as well. So probably you're doing this through Magento right now, the notifications. Yeah. If you want to stick using that, that's okay as well. You can switch to using. You can even combine them. It's up to you what you prefer in terms of notifications and which system will be sending notifications. So moving a bit forward is over here. There's a couple of things which like to show in terms of technical setup and things like that. Here is the integration. Obviously, there's an integration mechanism running behind all this, which is keeping track of what data is in your NAV and what still has to be sent to the web. It's good to know that you have full insight on what's being processed, what's being sent to the web. Specifically, at some point in time, you might be bumping into some errors, specifically when testing or developing new components. So then you can always just look up and see what's going on, what went wrong, and what perhaps has to be done. You see here is a customer address trying to be processed, but there's still a name missing. And perhaps over here is one. There's a problem with the SKU on the product. So these might all be valid reasons for why things did not get processed from NAV to Magento or the other way around. So briefly want to touch this. There's an import module. I don't know if you've worked with importing data into NAV before. It works quite well, but it stops at the point where you have to import things like these rich text we just seen, and things like images and so on. So we've developed some really specific import mechanisms which enable you to import uh, huge amounts of text and large sets of images and things like that. Well, it's not really something which I'm going to show, but you can just select a folder and then tell this thing, okay, here's a big amount of images, as long as they match with the rules that we have in place for this kind of thing. So if you set up your images just item number dot extension, then you should be fine, and you can import a complete database just in one big process. So last technical thing I'm going to show you is simply the setup card. This is what you'll be looking at when you start using this add-on in your NAV. If you start by using it, the whole thing will turn red and it will simply guide you through the whole process of what you still have to do to properly set up the system and to make sure that you reach the point of having all of them or almost all of them green. And when they're all green, that means that you should be fine and that you're selling items on the web. And if there's a problem, this will be the place where you'll be going back to, where you can see, okay, I have a problem with my, I don't know, with some mail settings, or there's a problem with a shipment or payment method, and then you can click the number over here and it will take you directly to the problem where you can correct it, and then you should be able to get this thing back onto green again. So that is, in a nutshell, that is the NAV part of all this. And what that does in terms of web is what we have here. We have a couple of demonstration sites. There's this one. Let me see. It has completely different products. To be honest, my colleague was busy trying to set up some sound timber over here, which we found on your website, and it turned out that he ran into a problem. I'm not really sure what that was, but we're going to be ordering smartphones for now. So it's good to mention that we do have another customer we're working on, and they're right now they're in the process of testing this system for our company, and it is quite a similar company to yours. And what they're testing with is setting up items and then length variants underneath these main items. And then that's the way they're selling their timber. So what we can do is to keep you informed on what they are, what progress they're making testing this system, and probably there will be some things coming out of their evaluation which can be used for your system and your company as well. So for now, over here, just looking at a product. These are not the best. Let me see if I've got one with a lot of details on it. So not too much, but still, you see everything we put in on NAV. On the NAV side is shown on the web as well. So all the images, all the text, the item attributes, and we can simply start ordering items through this demo website. For now, we'll be logging in as my standard demo customer, which I've configured a little bit to demonstrate some other functionalities. You can manage your shipping methods from out of NAV. We did not touch that in the NAV part, but be assured that all these are managed from within NAV. The standard one right now.
Can we apply rules to shipping? Example, one of our timber products will be, it'll have a set delivery option, which will be a van, while a smaller item will be courier. Now, what now happens on the website is if a customer orders a pot of finish, they see the courier option, but the minute they add a timber board, that option disappears. Can we set the same rules?
Okay, but what do you use for to accomplish that?
At the minute, it's a separate Excel database that runs the rules on the website. So it knows if a customer's got a pot of finish, which is a courier delivery, the minute they add a timber board, that option disappears and it's only available as a van delivery.
Right, but probably then there is some extension running which takes the data from this Excel sheet so that it knows what rules to apply?
No, it's just applied to the product in the back end of Magento. There's no separate extension.
Okay. Yeah, if it's standard Magento, of course we have to look into that as with most of the features you're having in your current Magento to simply to check whether everything is supported the way you want to use it. But yeah, probably it will be supported by this setup as well.
Right.
But as said, we'd like to dive into that together with you, and if you can, I mean, there's many ways of doing things in Magento. So yeah, we'd like to hear from you how you've implemented things so that we can explain how we see things and how things are working coming from our add-on.
Okay.
But just to clarify, that's definitely an option.
Yes, there's all kinds of options.
Okay, that's fine.
There's also, if we go back to the shipping tab over here, when I was at your place, Matthew, we've discussed the Ship It software as well, I think.
We did, yeah.
And that's an NAV component which help you to easily book and print labels and all these kind of things. But this thing can also work for your front end. So they also have the ability to bring all these shipping methods to the front end and to attach a whole bunch of rules to those shipping methods. I don't know, do you do transport on your own, or is it courier companies you work with to get your products out?
It's both. We have our own transport. We use a pallet service and a courier.
Right, yeah, so okay.
We also give customers the option to collect from either our Widnes or Harmondsworth depot.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well that's an interesting one as well. We actually have that implemented over here, and that's also a service that comes from this Transmart company. So through them they offer, in this case it's a DHL pickup system, but what they're offering is to implement this in your Magento front end, and so that you can actually select a pickup point which is coming from their databases. So that might be something that's an interesting component for you guys to use in the checkout as well. So for now we'll be switching back to a fixed flat rate shipping method. Coming back to what we just discussed, I think it would be good to have a document on what shipping methods you want to use, which are your own shipping methods, which are coming from a courier company, and as well on the pickup point, so that we can take that document and look at it with these with the logistic expert at Transmart, so that we can tell you exactly what will work and what not.
Okay. We can sort that out. We could get that to Matt today with the rules as well.
Brilliant.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So for now, we'll be just processing this thing as a standard order, and when we finish the order process over here, that will mean that what we've just done will result in an incoming order in NAV as well. So incoming, that's that in between screen we've just seen. The one over here. So from here on, you can process your order, yeah, just as you always would. You can just tell the system, okay, right, good one, process it. If this were to be a new customer, the customer account would get created at the very same time that the order got created.
Tiz, sorry. If a customer hasn't bothered to log in, if they try and complete an order as a new customer, would the system recognise that they've already got an account?
That could be, and it could be not. Depends a bit on what they're entering. And in the current setup, probably you will end up with two customers. What's in development right now is what we call a prospect management module, which will enable you to pull in the new registrations coming from the web, but to get them in a similar list like this, which will work as an in-between screen as well, where you can see all the incoming customer accounts, which will then be matched against a black and or mainly a blacklist, which you can maintain in your system, but you can also then connect the one account to the other. But as said, that's something which is in development at this very moment, and might be, or I think that we can extend that piece of development by just a bit, so that we can do some more matching on what already exists, so that you can prevent getting in double customer accounts. But still, it's an interesting topic. We would then like to hear from you guys. How do you want to match what makes an existing customer, or what makes that we can say, okay, this is for sure an existing customer, or having the same name, same company name, but a different address? How do you want to handle that? Would you say a different customer, or is it the same customer with a new delivery address? So that's
in my experience, I don't know about you guys, but in my experience, whenever I go shopping on the internet these days, what I'm asked for primarily in my login is my email address, and it doesn't matter what other information I may have that may be the same, and my email address is unique to me. So I think that that's normally the definer, isn't it? So you go to check out as a guest or whatever, and you'll put your email address in, and they'll say that you've got an account already. Can you, sort of log in as your account?
I think that would be the best fit for us anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and be assured that the match on email address, that will be the first one we will be handling in this prospect management add-on or module. Yeah. But still, we've seen quite a bit of rubbish in other customers' databases where people are using 5 different email addresses on the same location
Sure.
or the same address. So if you want to take this a little further, yeah, as I said, we'd love to hear from what you would expect from a module like that. And as it is in development right now, sorry about that, yeah, we can just, yeah, we can look at new requests coming in and see if we can set up this thing that it really does for you as what you want it to do.
So Tiz, what I want to clarify is this. So if we have someone come on the system in its current state, in its current format, and they choose to check out as a guest, they can do so. And when that goes through then to NAV into the sales list, is it going to create a new customer, or does it just because does it call it a guest as such? Do you see what I mean? So would there be a customer called guest in NAV?
Yeah, that's
Which is
2 ways of working with that. You can tell the system to create new customer records for everyone coming in, or you could create one guest customer, and then all these incoming new guests coming in are managed as contacts under that guest account.
sure. So that is a way that this could currently work without, even if you did no further development to this. There is a way of doing it. How does that sound, guys? I mean, does that sound to you like a possible way of doing it? Because if they're not putting it on their account and they're checking out as a guest, they're doing that for a reason, aren't they?
Yeah, my only query is when we've got a customer like Travis Perkins with multiple branches, how that would work. Presumably, we'd have to give each branch a login.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're all going to check out under one login as a guest.
Yeah.
And we'll end up no better off than we currently are.
Sure. But is there an issue with giving each Travis Perkins location a login?
No.
Okay, fine.
It would be better for us. I think
Sure.
the big issue we have at the minute is account duplication.
Yes.
And we end up with 5 records for one customer, and that's something we're keen to resolve.
So this then seems a good way of doing it. Give each Travis customer location their own login. If someone chooses to come on as a guest, then it would go to the customer card or the customer or whatever for the guest setup, the guest account or whatever. Because at the end of the day, if they then decide, if someone then decides from Travis Perkins to go in as a guest and pay with their own personal card or do whatever, then that's down to them. That's a decision they've taken, isn't it? And they clearly don't want to show it on the account for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But if they want it to show on the account, then therefore they should do the appropriate login for their location.
I don't think we'll solve every customer variance that we currently have. I just think from our point of view, the big one for us is that account duplication. So if there's a way we can get rid of the bulk of those, we know we'll still get them. We know we'll still get customers that can't remember the login, don't want to wait for a new password, they'll just log off as a guest and complete the transaction. We'll always get them. So as long as we can resolve the bulk of the problem, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
good stuff.
I think it's a good discussion, and as I said, just tell us about the problems you see in this case, and where we can develop something which can be of help in any way. And good conclusion that in the end you're never going to fix this 100%, and then the good thing is that they are bringing in money, so yeah.
Okay, let's crack on.
All right. Well, but what you've seen up until here, that's pretty much my standard demonstration of what you can do with this software. Yeah.
So what about Tis? What about showing how we can notify the customer where their delivery is on its way or whatever?
Yes, as mentioned, there is this notification system, so we can tell this the system to send out emails, text messages, and adding the right reports, the PDFs to these messages. And what we've tried to accomplish right now is to get a text message out to one of your attendants at this moment, but I'm not sure whether it's arrived.
I've actually just got a text message to say, hello NAVcommerce admin, a new magenta order with the order number has been received.
Wowee!
That was the idea to just...
It's almost like it was planned.
Oh, it's just that's your phone number which we temporarily placed onto this demo customer account, but it's just to demonstrate that the whole thing can send out text messages throughout the whole ordering, shipping and invoicing process. So yeah, if that for now answers your question, then yeah, it's the statuses you'll find up here. So order received, order released, shipment created, invoice created. So that's pretty much all statuses you want to get out.
Sure.
And
guys,
is there an option to have an email checker? Because I know there's an additional add-on for Nav where it checks email addresses. Is that something we can utilise in the e-commerce module? Because what we currently have at the minute is instances where email addresses have been input wrong. So obviously those customers will never get a notification.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a way that the system can check that email address or phone number automatically, that would be ideal.
What we do get, it's not exactly the way you just described it, but what we do have is if you use this NAV module for getting out your, for sending out your notifications, it does actually get a status back after sending the message. So if that status would contain something like email address doesn't exist or something in that range, we could set up some signaling messages or some signaling system for that. So that way you would have some kind of checking, yeah?
Okay.
As I said, it's not completely there right now. Right now it will just over here you can see exactly what's being sent out. But you probably wouldn't have a status over here saying, okay, this one ran into an error. So if we would then take that back to this screen where we could signal in some kind of way that that this is a non-existing email address, that would bring you to the point what you were just referring to, I think.
Okay.
All right.
So guys, obviously Tis has given his standard overview. Is there anything that you haven't seen that you would like to see? Is there anything that you have seen that you have further questions on? And the last question for me really is, how appropriate is this solution to you guys going forward?
I think in terms of the overall solution moving forward, we've got a meeting tomorrow with Simon, Nick and Stephen as well, which CRM and Nav obviously is one of the action points which we'll be discussing.
Sure.
I think from what I've seen from the e-commerce module, it does everything we hoped it would do. I think there's some things that we need a bit more further info on, such as the shipping, where we can handle multiple methods.
Yeah.
And the account duplication is probably a big point for us, because
Sure.
it's such a common problem at the minute. But in principle, from my end, from a marketing point of view, it does exactly what I'd expect and want it to do.
Sure.
Don't know what Keith and Helen's thoughts are.
That's fairly okay. There's a lot of crossover on it, yeah.
If it can
Helen?
if it can stop the duplicate of account, because I had two today come through where the email addresses the customers clearly not typed them in correctly, and I've not been able to contact them with an email. So if that email check could work, that would save me then having to stop what I'm doing, call them to find out what their correct email address is.
So, Helen, you're really faint.
I think Helen was trying to find.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
So the email checker is a really good point, because today I've had 2 orders that we've processed that the email addresses entered by the customer are both incorrect.
Right.
So the email checker, if that works, would be really good.
Okay.
Okay, well, I've written down those points which you just mentioned, and as I said, if you can send me a document on these the details around how to work with shipping methods, then we can dive into that and to make sure that we can give you the best possible answer we can give you at this moment. And if it would need some work from our end, we can also describe what we have until now and what we expect further needed to accomplish what you are looking for. And the same goes for this account duplication topic. And besides these things, if you're going to further discuss this, and if any questions come up, if you want to, I don't know, just if you want us to set up a more tailored demonstration on a specific type of products or something like that, or whatever other info you need, just let me know or let Matthew know, and then we will see what we can do to make sure that you have all the information you need to make a good decision on this.
Okay.
That's brilliant. Thank you.
We can get the shipping info over to Matt this afternoon. One final question. In terms of it sending out notifications by text, is there an additional charge to that?
Yes, there is. As always with these services, it is a third party who's processing these messages. So if you really want to use this text option, we can give you an overview of what the additional cost would be.
If you could send over those costings, that'd be helpful. Okay,
yeah, sure.
Good. So just to sort of round things up a bit, I'm conscious of time. Emma, obviously you've got a meeting tomorrow to discuss all of this. As you know, and as we've spoken to the rest of the team about, we would go through any scope process before going on with this project, and that scope process would be able to outline everything that we've talked about in the meetings and the couple of demos that we had. We would look at ensuring that we've covered all the details, and from our perspective we would want to deliver a system for you that is as much standard as is possible, so it makes it affordable and upgradable as you sort of future-proofs it as we go across the years. Yes, so yeah. But that does offer as well very much some calm and consideration and confidence in what's being delivered, because we will spend time with your organisation for a few days really understanding what you're trying to achieve and why, and we will deliver a solution then that is based around your business and your requirements. And some points we might say to you, well, this is somewhere where you're going to have to change process, because fundamentally it's easier for you to work around NAV, And sometimes we're going to be able to say, well, okay, this is a new thing for you, and we can make it work around the way you work, you know. So there's lots of scope in this for us to deliver something really good for you guys. So whether it's with the e-commerce or whether it's with the financial system or the CRM side of things. So do rest assured that that due diligence process will take place.
Okay, no problem.
And that will happen before we ask for any commitment of licenses or anything else like that.
Okay.
That'll be good for us as well, Emma and Keith, because there's obviously things that we currently do that we could probably do smarter and a bit more automatically than we're currently doing. So
Yeah,
it's good to spend time so they can understand what we're doing, just so that we can make it smarter than we possibly currently are doing.
Sure. Well, thank you everyone for joining the demonstration. Tees, thank you very, very much for giving it. Obviously there will be questions if these guys do proceed with this project and we do scope it out and everything else like that. But you know, let's see how tomorrow goes first, and obviously from our perspective we'd love to move further ahead with on the project with you guys, but we wait to hear from you. Yes?
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Could you email over the recording, please?
Yes, right after the session, the GoToMeeting application, it will start doing some magic. It will take a little while, and as that is finished, let me see how big this file has gotten, but I'll make sure that you'll get it in one way or another.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very, very much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the day, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Emma,
Okay.
Are you okay to give us some sort of feedback by the end of the week as to sort of where you think you're at?
It'll probably be Simon.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
The end of the week. Simon's on vacation on Friday, so it'll
Okay.
probably be early part of next week, because I know he's on vacation on Friday.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Good for
Okay.
him. All right. Thank you, guys. All the best.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You, bye-bye.
Bye.